Hello, my name is Serena, and thank you so much for all likes and shares and subscriptions, and it really means a lot to me. And I cannot describe it. Like, I've been so happy these days doing these videos, and yes, and when I started this channel, I just had no hopes, and I I have not even thought that somebody would be interested in these themes. And so thank you so much. And today we have an amazing novel poem, which is called Moscow-Petushki, which is written by Vadim Erofeev in 17th of the past century. And so the theme we are having today is love. Oh, so basically, when we try to define love, it's sometimes something not between partners, but a love which runs in a family, a love between a mother and child, or if we are taking it in more religious sense, it's a kind of a divine, inevitable love which surrounds every one of us and we cannot escape it. And so, why it is very important in the context of Moscow-Petushki? Well, the main character, Venichka, in this novel poem, goes on an amazing journey from Moscow to Petushki, 120 kilometers, which equals to almost 5 hours in train from Kursk railway station. And where he goes, what is a town, Petushki, and why he goes there? So he goes there for a woman whom he loves, a child who learns how to pronounce the letter U, and the jasmine flowers which blossom the entire year. And it's a very controversial image because if we try to search on internet what is a town, Petushki, and in reality it's a typical post-Soviet small town when you definitely have one street named after Lenin, one main square, and uh, just people who live there because they cannot move to big cities, endless fields and forests. And so why Vinichka has this deep and incredible images of Petushki as it's the paradise, the best place on earth. So of course we have jasmine trees in Russia, but practically they don't blossom the entire year. And especially no one wanted to plant them in Petushki. it's not the place to plant these amazing trees. So what is it? Imagination or maybe idealization of Petushki happens in Benichka's mind? Or maybe we can describe it with a famous Russian expression поймать белочку, which means to catch a squirrel. When the person drinks too much and too often, he catches a squirrel, which means hallucinations during drinking. The main character seems like a heavy drinker who drinks too much and he does not want to quit. And he continues to develop even more recipes with different cocktails and experimenting with them and with some crazy undrinkable substances such as nail polish. And his famous cocktail in this book is called Ansklava Kiss, which consists of vodka from Kuban and rosé, which costs 1 ruble 37 kopecks, which he describes as suitable for watering rubber plants. No, Venichka is completely mentally healthy, and he have not got any hallucinations because he works, and his title and his raises in a career ladder can prove that. And he drinks as much as he's companions at work, his colleagues and his flatmates, and they drink together, and they seem to us very normal. And why they are normal to us? Because they don't have a woman, a child who wait for them in Petushki, or a city which has jasmine trees which blossom the entire year. Venichka is insane because he sees and describes things that are opposite to reality. Or maybe Venichka is insane because he's in love. And you know this type of Shakespearean love, which says that in A Midsummer Night's Dream, he says that lovers and people with psychological disease have the same level of mental problems, and maybe it's love. Well, it's not, because otherwise he could have brought his wife to Lobnya, as he mentions, or to move himself to Petushki, which is very reasonable. Well, the answer is very simple. Venichka has too big of a heart. He feels and he loves the world. And he even loves the strangers who come to his life on his way to Petushki, and discusses with them the type of love from Turgenev's books. He feels the entire world and let it be with its own errors and mistakes. He imagines jasmine trees where they have never existed, and silk purple sheets, and this child who just learned this letter. He loves the world and he doesn't want to give up. But just a quick glimpse into reality for better understanding of the time. So 70s, it was a time of destroyed expectations. Russian 60s were called as a period of ottepel, when Soviet people were allowed to do a little bit more than before. And by 70s, the expectations were destroyed. And rather than existing and hoping for something, people have started aggressively hating each other and being scared of the current society. And so you see the whole chaos and very chaotic world, which is filled with hate and aggressiveness. And then you see Venichka with his enormous life, enormous love, and acceptance of the world. And why he's so important to us? Because he feels even more than we can feel now, that he feels his own kindness, sharing the rest of vodka with some strangers in a train who just have stolen his vodka. And he allows his robbers to take even more, and drinks with them and have very deep conversations. Then in a period of a very chaotic and painful reality, he, rather than choosing hate, rather than choosing some aggression, rather than choosing some pain, he chooses love. And he makes this choice and falls for it. And he probably does not even love the woman. He probably does not even care about the child or about the town. He cares about the world, and he wants to see and notice the entire world as it is. And it makes him feel alive. And my last contradictory take on this video came from recommendations, and it's not very serious, but a site of a Polish university not recommended this book to be read by young girls. So, as a face of a political party of young girls, I can say the opposite. And the author as well, he recommended young women not to read the chapter 10 in this book. as a face of young girl party, I might say that yes, this book shall be read by young girls, not to be scared or taught some inevitable lesson, but rather than to feel, because sometimes so many books teaches us not to feel, to give up on this feeling of the world, because well, we have we have a reality, and we live in the reality, unfortunately, where some standards and boundaries and limitations are placed, and I think most of the people at pretty young age, we are very much limited, and we see any sort of an achievement as something which is supposed to involve some punishment and suffering, and never involves love. And when we feel happy, we think that okay, well, today I feel happy, and then tomorrow I will feel bad again, because any pleasure and any resolution in life and any big step supposed to have a price, and we have to pay this price. And I think what modern society does to us, that it requires some price for love. And it was a video by a content creator. She's Estonian, and she's called Kate Kalp, and it was a very good and interesting video where she was traveling to different locations and nature opening the book and everything, requested to watch an ad, to pay this price. And I think it described the reality so well, because we're so much trapped in this award rewarding system, and I might be absolutely wrong with it, because my opinion might be absolutely incorrect, and I'm not Arina Zizek. I'm not Arina Kant. I'm just you know, a student of English studies, but I started noticing this type of a reward system existing in our society, and this book made me reflect a little bit more on this type of rewards we want to live by in our real life. And it is very scary. It is absolutely scary, but the only thing which can calm me down is loving the entire world, as Vinichka is always free. And even in Petushki, people love the world. And so my last take is just the quote of Zizek. So to describe Venichka's love a little bit deeper, love is not about features. And I think in Venichka's case, it's not about a woman or a jasmine flower or a town of Petushki or a baby. It just comes, and it never shall be described logically with words, but rather than this, it's supposed to be felt and never described. I love Zizek. And so I wish I were Venichka, and with this part I just want to tell you, go out, feel, love the world, and just try to be Venichka one day. And even if you are in Petushki, try to love your Petushki, and something will definitely be better. Goodbye, and thank you.